camera.
Since we're recording now, I'll go ahead and I'll answer you separately after the meeting, okay?
All right, that's fine. Delete me.
All right, we'll be starting in a couple minutes. Please get more food.
Yeah, I just want to ask Kayla, are you recording to the cloud?
She is, yes.
That's good. Thank you. Just double
We figured
checking.
that would be a much easier way for you to get it.
Yes, exactly. And welcome to Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hello, everybody. Oh, my mic's working. Is my mic working?
Yes, Mike, you're
Yes,
working.
Mike.
My mic is miking. Okay, all right, good. Nice to see you, Carol. How are you doing down there?
Oh, just absolutely wonderful. I've spent this whole day working on the state fair volunteer schedule and getting ready for the meeting here too, getting my report ready. So
Okay.
yeah, combining work with vacation here.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you checking in this at noontime on the net. That's why I knew you were still in Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, good. Well, North Hills doesn't have a Zoom tonight, so here I am.
Yeah, I got to practice a lot of my Spanish here. It was really good
That is good.
during the field day. And I do have some pictures from my field day if people want to see it later on,
Oh,
if there's
yeah.
time.
That'd be
Yes,
cool.
and we'll turn on the share to allow that to happen. So you have to go here, allow multiple parties. So now people can share from home. Yeah. Well, it's 7 o'clock. It's another first Tuesday of the month, and here we are gathered again for a River City ARCS membership meeting. It's great to see everybody. I think everybody's exhausted from the weekend, at least those of us who are out in the hot, dusty places that we were at, Dry Creek Ranch, and also I know we have North Hills folks in River City ARCS who are out at Davis Ranch. And it was good, except it's hot. It is Sacramento. It is Sacramento, but it's end of June. Yeah. So let's do some quick introductions, and then we'll have Carol. Carol's in Puerto Rico still, and she's going to tell us about her field day. She went to Puerto Rico and then flew somewhere for the day onto a smaller island. KP4MD Air. Yes. That was. But let's do introductions first. I'm James Goldstene. I'm this year's president of the River City ARCS. And one of the things we have to begin thinking about in a couple of months are nominations for officers for the following year. Okay. Gert, do you want to start off? Introductions.
Yes. Well.
And make sure you speak into the microphone.
Yeah, eat the mic.
Yeah.
Gert, Kilo 6, Zulu Golf Alpha, and secretary.
And I'm Hank, Kilo 6 Hotel Uniform Hotel.
Hi, I'm Art, KD60, elderly ham who just wandered in out of the woods.
Art is a new member. Welcome, Art. Thank you for joining.
Sylvia, Kilo Sierra 6, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I am your treasurer.
Thank you for that, Sylvia.
Mike, Kilo 7 Golf Foxtrot Mike.
Ken, KE6RMN, newsletter editor.
Good evening. This is Kishore, Kilo Romeo 6, Romeo Alpha Oscar.
Gary, KG6 SMX.
I'm Bob Mix, KF6 ABC.
I'm Tawny, a visitor.
Alan, Kilo 6, Alpha Golf Whiskey, Court Jester.
The court jester. Excellent.
I'm Dave.
No
KK6.
debate there.
Dave, mic closer to your mouth.
Yeah, I'm Dave, KK6MVJ, but as of next Wednesday, I'll be using Delta Victor 1, Kilo 6, Mike Victor Juliet for 2 months, and maybe in August, I can join the meeting from the Philippines.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, this is Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot.
My name's Walter, Kilo 6, Hotel Tango Delta. I'm the roof crawler.
And Walter just braved a Sierra thunderstorm to come down here.
And he's still dry.
And he's still dry.
I'm Jim, N7ZFI, a new club member and a field day warrior.
Yeah, thanks,
Good time.
Jim. We really appreciated having you out there. Did you camp out there? Slept in the car. Yeah. Wow.
KD6 GBY, Arthur, and board member.
Hey, Art, thank you.
Glenn, KM6 RGQ.
All right.
K6 Wiley.
Judd, Whiskey 6, Tango Golf Sierra.
I'm Bob, N6 PGQ.
And I'm Neil, Kilo Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo.
Phil, Kilo Delta 6, Romeo Mike.
Welcome, everybody. And online, go ahead and introduce yourself, starting with Mike. You're muted, Mike.
Marie Martin, no call sign, widow of David Martin.
I'm sorry, this is Mike, November 1, Yankee Charlie, November.
All right, Marie, go ahead.
Well, I have no call sign, but I made a promise to David before he passed away to go after go take a test.
All right,
I need
good.
to
Well,
talk to Carol about that. So I have no call sign.
Marie, but you take care of the club, and we appreciate everything that you do for the club, and we're all going to help you get your tech license whenever you're ready. So, Tom, Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra, you there?
I am. As you say, I'm Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra, Sky Watcher.
Sky Watcher. Can you show us a picture of Sky when you get a chance?
I had the camera off because she's scaring me, but she's chewing on the floor. I don't know if that shows up.
There's Sky. Okay. Sky helped us at field day. She was there quite a bit. Yeah. And Bill, N6EF.
Good evening, Bill, N6EF.
Hey, Bill, how are you? Thank you. All right. Oh, Carol. Well, Carol,
Yeah.
it's Carol's turn to present both in her role.
No. Actually, I'm going to stay for the entire meeting here, although it is 10 o'clock here. I'm Carol, Kilo Pop 4 Mike Delta, portable now here in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, 3,000 miles away from you all. And I'm also the ARRL Sacramento Valley section manager, but I'm AWOL from my section for a few more days. And vice president of the club and also webmaster. And really looking forward to this meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Well, do you want to give your web report? You ready to do that?
If it's yeah, definitely. I'm ready for that whenever it's my turn.
It's your turn. And then
Okay,
Sylvia.
thank you. Oh, you want to do the Sylvia's report first? That's fine. She usually goes first.
You want to go first? She doesn't want to go first.
Okay. Let me bring up my report then. And okay. Just a moment here. Going to do share. There.
I guess I need to wipe.
Okay, there we are. Should be streaming here pretty soon. Are you seeing it yet?
Yes.
Okay, very good. This is the web resource report for the for our past month, the month of June. First of all, I always usually like to bring up something about the month in radio history. And one of the big things for the month of July is it's the birthday of Nikola Tesla. He was born July 10th, 1856 in Croatia, which at that time was the Austrian Empire. And in 1884, he came over to the United States and he worked for Thomas Edison for a while, but they didn't get along well because he pushed AC, alternating current, and Thomas Edison was really invested in DC. So 2 years later, he went and set up his own company, Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing. He's owner of many patents, AC distribution, which is the power that we use right now, alternating current. He was also into wireless energy. So alternating current, of course, is the basis of all radio current. So he's a really big guy in radio as well. Just a reminder to everyone, your QST magazine for this month of July is really good. It has a lot of, I guess the first article there was Operating Whisper QRPP, which is something I'm doing right now. I'm actually working Whisper, which is the Weak Signal Propagation Reporter Network. I have a station on there putting out 5 watts and it's being heard all over the world. It's a digital mode that's used for propagation testing. So if anybody's interested in that, you could look my signal up and I'm being heard all over the world. Some good articles. There's product reviews on the Zygu X6200 transceiver, which is a new transceiver. A Ham 2K portable logger, which is a free app for your smartphone. It works for either Android or iPhone, kind of a logbook. Interesting program that they reviewed. The Linovation CTR MIDI is a what's it called? It's a dial that you can plug into a computer and use it for controlling remote operating radios. So they review that as well. And then there's a number of articles that have to do with emergency communications. That's kind of like the focus of what this issue is about, July issue of QST. And it's one of your benefits as an ARRL member. So make sure you check that out. It's a really well done magazine. Reminder also that our website is n6na.org, and we try to keep it up to date. Just updated it today, as a matter of fact, with a lot of new information about what upcoming events we have going on. I want to remind everybody that the California State Fair is going to be this month. I want to thank everyone who's committed to join us at the exhibit and help support the operation of the special event station. We have already put in to get the gate admission passes and the free parking passes for those who are signed up on the schedule. Yesterday was actually the deadline to do that. So those of you who did sign up on the schedule and submitted the information, we've put in for your passes already. So if you haven't done that, you're still welcome to stop by and visit our amateur radio booth at Cal Expo Building B during the fair if you're there any days. And you're also welcome to activate the K6C special event call sign from your own QTH. And if you're interested in doing that, you can go to arrlsacvalley.org and there's a link that brings you to a sign-up sheet and it shows you the time slots that are available, when you can operate using the letters K6C from your own station. If you do that, though, you do need to make a commitment to keep a log of your contacts and then to submit them afterwards, because the people who talk to us with the special event station are going to request QSL cards, and we needed to have a way of checking to make sure they did contact one of us that was operating with that call sign. Coming club events, of course, the club breakfast is going to be on the 19th of July. We have a board meeting on July 22nd. Second breakfast is the 26th of July. So far, we're going to continue with that first breakfast and second breakfast until we decide otherwise. Then we are to have our next meeting August 5th. September 2nd is going to be our homebrew night. And I don't think we definitely have a program yet for the August meeting, but that's going to be announced pretty soon. September also is the Western Placer Amateur Radio Club Hamfest at McBean Park in Lincoln. We don't have a date for that yet either, but I know they want to put that on. October 4th is the Rockland Maker Fair, and they're already taking applications for exhibits there, and we are going to do another exhibit there for amateur radio. It's a very well attended outreach to the public, and it just happens to fall on a really nice day, October 4th, a Saturday, so it does not conflict at all with the Pacificon convention, which would be the following weekend, October 10th to 12th, and you can register for that online now at pacificon.org. That's a really good once a year activity that has all kinds of stuff for new hams and seasoned hams as well, and a lot of enjoyable activities, and the vendors are all there, and there's educational forums. So it's something for everybody there. And if you're under 18 years old, you go in for free. The admission is very reasonable as well. You can check that out online, pacificon.org. Contests in July, there's a few coming up. The July 5th to 6th, it would be CQ Worldwide VHF single sideband and CW contest. On the 12th to the 13th is the International Amateur Radio Union HF World Championship. That's one that I've normally operated here from Puerto Rico, but unfortunately I'm going to be leaving during that weekend, so I won't be participating, but I've won several awards on that. It's where stations from all over the different countries around the world get on the air, and you could work a lot of different countries. July 19th to 20th is the CQ Worldwide VHF Digital Contest and the North American QSO Party Radio Teletype. July 26th and 27th is the Alabama QSO Party, and then August 12th, 2nd to 3rd is the North American QSO Party CW. And I know that the Samuel F. Morse Amateur Radio Club usually participates in that. Reminded that our nets are on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. We do our 2-meter net on the N6NA repeater, 145.25. Then we have our 10-meter net at 8:30 on 28.42 megahertz upper sideband. Everybody's welcome to check into that, regardless of your license class, because that's accessible also to technicians. And then at 9 p.m. they're doing the slow scan TV net. I'm not doing the YouTube live stream, and I won't resume that until I get back. It'll be a couple of weeks. So right now it's just strictly on 441.30. A reminder also about a roundtable net, 7181 kilohertz lowest sideband on Saturdays at 3 p.m. And that's a very popular net. It's a very casual, laid-back net where people just check in. We do a roundtable and bring people up to date on what's going on and share. It's more or less a social chat net, and it's been going strong. Check-ins for the month of June, we do have quite a bit of consistent activity on the 2-meter net. These are the number of check-ins. So the 2 meters, the 10 meters, and the roundtable net was going well. Of course, field day, there was no roundtable net because it was the same time. We always are open to get net control operators, and the scripts are available on our website if you want to try your hand at it, and we will coach you along to do that. It's a great skill to have. especially for emergency preparedness. You never know, you may be called upon to organize a group of people on the air to respond to an emergency. So if you want, just give us a contact. The backup repeater net is going to be July 17th. It's always the third Wednesday of the month. That's when we use the backup repeater on 2 meters, which is the same frequency pair. The only difference is the PL tone is 123 hertz. And it is a little bit more challenged to get into that backup repeater because it doesn't have the sensitive antennas that our normal repeater does have. But what benefit of the backup repeater, it has emergency power. If there's a power failure and we lose our main repeater, this backup repeater can come up and we still will have communications. Website activity for the month of June, we had a total of 1,114 page views during the month of June. And the peak web page views were on June 4th, which I believe was right after our meeting that we had that month. And that's usually the way it works. The homepage had most of the views, then it's followed by a field day page, a lot of views there because people getting ready for field day. Then the N6NA repeater page had a lot of views. Then About Us page and then the Silent Keys page was visited a lot, of course, because of the passing of Madge Melendres. And by the way, we had a very touching memorial service for her. I was really happy to be able to participate in that. And a good number of us from the club were there as well. Views by sources. 58% of our hits to our website were referred by search engines, and 36% were direct hits to our n6na.org URL. And again, most of our views came from the United States. We had 1,079, 10 from the United Kingdom, 4 from Brazil, and always there's a few other countries scattered around here, the ones that show on that little map there. Other social media, our YouTube channel has 596 subscribers now. We had 1,059 views of our videos during the month of June. And the top video, again, is the January meeting video, which was the introduction to QMX transceiver. And the reason that's really taken off is because they're selling an awful lot of them since they provided the single sideband upgrade to the firmware, and people are looking on that to learn out more about the radio. So our website is our YouTube channel is drawing a lot of interest for that reason. After that, again, was the Rig Expert Talk from 2018, always popular. Then our HF propagation video, which was 87 views. Then Bob and 6PGQ's tower installation is always up near the top. And then our June meeting, which was the ARRL field day prep. Those were the most popular videos. On our Facebook page, we now have 1,178 followers. And our discussion group on Facebook has 125 members. Twitter page has 164 followers, which has gone up 3. And the Discord chat continues at 48 members. Again, if you have any interest, any questions for the club, any of the membership of the club, the leadership of the club, just send an email to contact@n6na.org and we will respond to you. And that's the end of my meeting, of my presentation. Turning it back to you, James. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. That's as always, a great presentation. Does anybody have questions for Carol? Carol, I do have a question about Cal Expo. If
Sure.
somebody in the next week or so, or whenever they see we're doing it and they wants to participate, is there any way we can add their name to get the pass and et cetera? At this point, will they allow us to have a follow-up list, or is that it? Do we know?
Well, we had a deadline of getting that information by June 30th because they're doing this for all the different exhibitors there. They have hundreds of these passes to prepare. I think what they don't want is for us to come, every other day, trying to get somebody in. But if somebody really, really wanted to get in and we can get a list, it's possible we could do that. But the requirement is first, you need to commit to be there for a certain day and time. And we need to get the information for the Megan's Law screening because they're very strict about that because there's going to be children in at the fair in contact with the exhibitors, and they don't want any registered sex offenders dealing with them. So that's the reason they require that. They're going to ask you for your birthday, your driver's license number, and your full name that's on the driver's license. And some people may not want to share that because they consider it's privacy issue, but they have a good reason for that.
All right, thank you, Carol. Any other questions for Carol? Neil has a question. I'm bringing the microphone to Neil. I feel like a bald Phil Donahue.
Carol, the question is, has been any arrangements been made for the person or persons who are going to do the initial setup of the antenna? Do we need a special authorization to go and participate and help with the initial setup?
Okay, Jay Ballinger, that's November 6th SAC, who is the Sacramento County Emergency Coordinator. You probably know him. You've heard him probably on the N6ICW net. He is actually he's in charge of that. He's the liaison with Cal Expo. And actually, the day before I left the day I left Sacramento in the morning, Jay and I went over there. We did another survey of the location where we're going to have our station. And we did find that there were some ways to get cables out of that building outside. And Jay is following up with the administration. And they say it is workable that we can put an outdoor antenna. They're thinking of even putting an end-fed wire up on the roof of Building B, which would be awesome if we can get it up there. So he is following up on that. And as soon as we have any more information about when that can be done, I will share that with the volunteers that we have on our list already of the exhibitors. So if anybody would like to assist with that, they're certainly welcome to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Carol? All right, well, now we move to the treasurer's report. Sylvia? Here,
I already did, but I should make this bigger. So I can't see it. No, I can see it on my, all right. Hopefully some people can see that. I can't see it, but I can see my desktop. So the roster status, we have 120 active members. Expiring soon. We still have 67 people who haven't renewed for this year. And there's 5 inactive. So it's 187 members. For sure, it's probably somewhere between 120 and 187 in reality. So I'm still working through the instructions for signing up the new members through Ham Club Online. Oh yeah. So I was really busy last week with field day, so that didn't get done last week. And speaking of field day, I thank you, those of you who came and helped us tear down on Sunday at the end of field day. I cannot thank you enough. It was brutal last year, and I must have sounded pretty desperate. My brother even came out to help. So takedown went much better than last year. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm sure whoever gives the field day report will reiterate that. And we have one new member, N7ZFI. I know I should be practicing the so when I do net control again. Zulu Foxtrot, India. Jim Ewald. Welcome, welcome, Jim. Are you here? Oh yeah, hi. You want to stand up and wave? I know you said you were a new member when we did introductions, so. So the financial report, the balance in our account is now $9,669, of which the general fund is $5,687, and the repeater fund is $3,981. We definitely want to thank Dave Minke and Lawrence Upjohn for their repeater fund donations. Thank you very much. Our upcoming expenses, there's our mostly reimbursements. So we did send flowers from the club to the funeral. To the home. So to JoJo and the kids. So and then we spent, so that was another thing we did. Cleaned up the trailer and Bob went out and bought a bunch of totes and straps. And I don't know if you all saw the trailer picture in the newsletter, but it's awesome now. And then they forgot to do the listing of everything that's in the trailer. So they took everything out on field day, did listing, and put everything back. So it looks really nice now. Field day refreshments and dinner, it's typically between $400 and $600. I think I haven't done the receipts for it yet. It's around $450 this year. And then I still have to do the Ham Club online donation, which will be just under $200. So those are the upcoming expenses. And the categorized transactions for the period are here. This view right here is we have like a ledger with categories in it. And I've never been able to get it to balance. And so we're talking about resetting this is the number we're going to balance number. So that's, we're discussing it amongst the board. And I think we're going to resolve it really soon. We have more money than it says our ledger does. So that's at least good. So it's a couple $100. Yeah. It's more than I would like to see though. I would rather get it to a number that we can all agree on, and then, get it as close as it can. So, and there shouldn't be any reason that wouldn't happen. And then it'd be obvious to me that I forgot to put something in rather than it's hard to tell when that happened. And I would suggest that we make sure that whoever takes over after me gets basically a zero number right away, and not like I kind of let that slide. So anyway, so that's the treasurer's report.
No questions for the treasurer? All right. We are going to have a white elephant sale later this year where we raise more money for the treasury. So begin thinking about what you want to sell. Sometimes it feels like you have to pay people to take stuff, but all right. The next item on the agenda, I'm going to give to KL7 High Quality Radio about an Elmering update. How are we doing? So just so everybody knows, the club, if you have any issues or need help or a second pair of hands, or if you need Walter to climb on the roof to fix something, thank you, Walter. We provide Elmer support, whether you're brand new and don't know what to do, have never touched a radio, or whether you're like Phil. Okay. Make sure you keep it close to your mouth. Turns it off.
Okay, this is better. It's going very well. We have, since our last meeting, we have completed all activities with K6 Zulu Bravo, I believe, which is Stephen, and we finished the installation of the satellite antenna for his operation. And to the best of my knowledge, he is already making contact. He is really helping, happy with it. And I think we should definitely renovate our thanks to Walter, because we do the planning, we do the calculations, we bring the material, but if it wasn't for Walter's climbing on the roof and trying not to fall down and put things up and make things right and working. Tomorrow morning, we're going to go to finish the work with Richard, and we installed the vertical. But now he has a 23 feet vertical on the roof on a tripod with no ground wire. So tomorrow we're going to go there and put a ground rod and complete.
Very good. And we need to thank Art for that, because that's the one you gave to me last Christmas. I used it for a while and then passed it on because he needed the antenna. It's a good antenna. This is the CHA 250 DC Comet vertical, all band
The
vertical.
manual that we have is for the HD, but the antenna itself is a B, but it's working well. I would like to again ask that if anybody has any questions about problems they're having, we may not be able to solve it, but we'll give it a good try.
Thank you, Neil. Does anybody want Neil to come help you? Nobody's raising their hand now. Any questions? All right. Anything else? Did I forget? Did we cover everything so far? What are we missing? I think I got it. Does everybody have a ticket? Make sure you get a ticket or buy extra tickets from Gert. One of the things that Carol, Kishore had a question about, Carol, if you're still there, Kishore had a question about filling out the security check for for Cal Expo, if you can hear us.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to give him the microphone.
Yeah, Carol, I'm listed for the Cal Expo, and I signed up. I was out of town, but I just signed up for the Megan's Law, and I submitted it just now, and turned my thing in. So I'm not sure if it's past the deadline or not, but I was able to sign up for it. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm able to.
Yeah, yeah. I could request. It is past the deadline, but it is just one day. I think perhaps we can get it in. And if you did that, I will go ahead and I will request that. But I think.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Kilo Romeo 6 Romeo Alpha Oscar is my call sign.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks, Kishore. Okay, we have we have to plan ahead for the holiday party. And one of the things we are trying to decide is where the holiday party should be. And last year we did it at Black Oak Restaurant. The year before we did it at the Spaghetti Factory. I think both locations suffice, but we got an underwhelming response for people, club members thinking, let's try somewhere else. So I'm going to actually hand the microphone to Art, who's been doing some exploring for the club. And Art, why don't you tell us what you found so far?
Well, the news is that any place suitable is not going to be cheap. I checked out the Dante Club. Their cheapest room is $1,200. Average room $1,400. I also checked the Elks Lodge, that's right behind where I live. And again, lots of rooms, lots of space, no host bar for those who like to drink, but still prices start at $1,200. That's just for the room. Exactly. Now, I also called up the Cattlemen's Club. They have several locations, Rancho Cordova, also in Roseville. That was interesting because they've got several rooms available. They've got what is known as a small barn and a large barn. The large barn will handle 50 or more people. The advantage of that is if we could get 50/60 members to sign up for the holiday party, they could have buffet trays out. And the advantage of that is that it's a lot less expensive than having plates served by a waitress to the table. And if we went with the larger room, if we could get, let's say, 60 people to sign up, it'd be about $42 a piece. That would include the room, that would include the food, that would include a non-alcoholic drink. And the specifics can be arranged. $42. Listen, I went out to a Mexican restaurant with my wife last night, and it was $60. I mean, restaurants are just no longer cheap. Added food costs, labor costs, rent costs, plus a population that doesn't have a lot of disposable money to go out to eat. So I think it's a very reasonable choice. If you think of another location that might be more suitable, we're all open for it. Yeah, go ahead, Sylvia. I did not, okay, my own thing, Black Bear Diner, they wouldn't even take my order when I saw them. What? Or which Phil? Yeah, go ahead.
Bill doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, anyway, think about it.
Yeah, we're looking.
But we're going to have to nail this thing down because the dates are, especially for December, are being taken up all over. So in the next couple, in the next couple of weeks, let's nail it down. The guy, Travis, was extremely professional, extremely nice, extremely flexible, more than willing to work with us. So anyway, something to consider. Because we got to get it done, and we got to get it done soon.
And so, Art, if we have less than 50 and go in the smaller room, instead of $42, it would be about $50.
It'd probably be 55, more
Okay.
like 60. But the advantage is that you'd have service to the table,
Right.
and plus, I think more variety on the menu.
Right.
In other words, you'd have a menu, and you could probably
Order
have
whatever
more
you
choices.
wanted.
So that's the advantage. That's the cost. So anyway, I mean, everybody here, goes out to eat occasionally, I imagine, and it's just not cheap anymore. I wish it was. Gosh, I wish it was. I've been suffering sticker shock for this for the last couple months, but I think we got to bite the bullet and choose someplace. Yeah, go ahead.
Question. When you consider the sort of the high cost of $42 or something like that, would the club consider defraying some of that cost, out of the treasury? Because anything we do for the benefit of the membership, to me, seems acceptable. So for the holiday dinner, why not consider defraying maybe $10 per member that decides to come? Suggestion.
I think that's a good suggestion, Wilson, and I think we should seriously consider it.
Oh, it wasn't Phil, it was Bob, PGQ. Sammy's restaurant.
What's that?
Sammy's.
You have to, again, you have to call up, you have to say, do you have accommodations for so people? Is there parking? are they willing to, handle us? Okay, there's a bit of homework that's involved in it. So, look up Sammy's and see what's available and bring it up. And again, at this point, we're exploring options. Oh, I already picked, good suggestion, Phil. Phil was talking about a date. I just went with December the 2nd because it's the first Tuesday of the month. That's usually when we have our dinner anyway. Plus the advantage is it's the very beginning of December, so it's an open date. It's ours to nail down if we want to nail it down. But once you start getting past the 10th, they're nailing up, forget about Thursday or Friday.
All right, so what we're considering is Tuesday, December 2nd for the holiday party at the Cattleman's, either in Roseville or Rancho Cordova. We can decide that.
We can work out the details as far as
Right.
menus, buffet, whatever.
Right. And the cost is going to be anywhere from 42-ish to 55.
Something like that.
Ish.
Something like that.
So I guess we're looking, what's the comfort level?
Travis works them all. Whether it's, in this area, of course, but no, we could, at this point, we could pick Rancho Cordova or we could pick Roseville. That's up to the board, that's up to the members.
So any comments? You can think about it for a minute, but we're going to have to lock it in because I know that companies, others are booking their holiday parties now.
Not an expert here, but just a jester. We would probably have a hard time getting 50 or 60 people to our holiday party. I've been to a couple. So just that thought, maybe the smaller room would be more.
Well, we got to find out. Can we have a show of hands? How many people plan to attend the holiday dinner?
And online, I see hands online. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Kayla, you coming to the holiday dinner? No? Okay. So how many people are here? So Gert, you have a list. Yeah.
In years past, our attendance has been right around 40 or a little under year after year after year. Give you a rough idea where you're at.
Okay.
All right. Well, you get better menu choice and
right.
You don't have to
And
serve
it
yourself.
costs a little more, better menu choice, and plus service that you're plated. I didn't see it on the menu, but the menu, Phil.
No, we just need bottomless beans and cornbread, and we'll have a great time. Yeah.
Well, the
exactly.
cattlemen, so unless the cattle are like
Right.
goats or something.
And you can invite your family. We always do the Weave event with Chris, N6ICW. His wife's involved with Weave, and we'll do our fundraising effort as well. So
if people
yeah.
brought their spouse or and maybe a kid or two, it wouldn't take that much to bring it up to 50.
No, we'd be
Yeah.
close. I think.
Yeah.
And
then we
Cattleman's
could
might
pay-
be.
And we could pay for it, and so it's a little bit extra,
It's the holiday season, and Cattleman's is probably on the upper end of where we've been so far
Right.
recently. So maybe people would be drawn to that, even if it's a little more out of pocket. But we're trying to get a sense of where the alternative is we could meet here and have potato chips or something.
Right, right. But in all fairness to Jim, this is a synagogue, beginning of December. There's a lot of, Jewish events that they like to celebrate. And we'd like to leave this place, at least I feel like, I'd like to leave this place open for the kindness that they have shown us by hosting our club meetings. At least that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. That the board had also talked about the idea of hiring a caterer to cater here, but it would probably be more expensive. And we'd have trouble at this point probably finding somebody as well. So, Art, I appreciate all the research you've done on that so far.
Yeah,
And
but all I need from you guys is your feedback and a
Yeah.
decision. You
Yeah.
know, if we want to do it, fine. You know, if we don't, then we have to move on and find another alternative. Or
does anybody have another alternative they want us to look at?
or if you, you know, and again, if you guys have an idea, you know, call them up. That's all I did today. I just said Cattleman's. Yeah, I looked into that a couple of years ago. I called them up, you know, and they had a lot of information. Most places have websites which will tell you the banquet halls available and the prices and the food available. So, you know, do a little homework. You wouldn't even have to leave your house and you could get a lot of information.
Gert just mentioned maybe look at Brookfield's. I think it would be about the same price, but we could consider that. But their dinner food's not as good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We can order pancakes.
If we're considering at this point, if we looked into perhaps getting together with other clubs, and that would make for a few more people, and maybe work our price down.
Yeah. What about the Morse Code Club? Yeah, maybe they'd like to come with us. Well, if 15 of them decide to come to the thing, or even 10 or 5, it would help. Anyway, it's something to think about. We got to take action and make a decision.
All right. Well, we'll make a decision in the next few days. We want to give you a chance to give us some feedback. Send an email to contact@n6na.org. Thank you, Art. If you have some other suggestions, feel free to call a restaurant, your favorite place you think they can hold anywhere from 40 to 50 to maybe 60 people, depending on if we bring in other clubs. Any other comments or questions? Anybody on Zoom? Any comments or questions? All right. What I'd like to do now, before we talk about, do our field day recap. Well, do you want to do the field day recap now or take a break? Let's take a short break. Let's take a 7.5 minute break, and then Bob N6PGQ will do the field day recap. Restrooms are down the hall. There's lots of food. Anybody needs hot water, it's in the kitchen. There's a cold water drinking fountain in the hall, and we are on break for a few minutes.
James?
Yeah, go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, after the break, just when you want to fit mine in, mine will only take about 5 minutes. I have like about a dozen pictures, that's all.
That would be part of the recap. Is that okay? I know it's late for
Yeah.
you.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay.
All right.
That's the time here. We're 10:51 p.m. here, Atlantic time. So Mike, where did you do your field day again? You're muted, Mike.
There we go. North Hills had theirs at the, as in the last few years at the Davis Ranch out there on Slough House. But I'm
Oh,
told,
okay.
but I'm told since they have new owners and et cetera, that this apparently is our last year to have it there. So come next year, I believe we'll be shopping for somewhere else. That's all we can do, you know?
That was a nice place. You had a lot of trees, shade. I really liked that place.
Yeah, it was. I think it's a great location. I mean, you've got the combination of shade and a lot of open space to set up antennas. I know some of the guys were not happy with the fact that it was too much shade because you're in the wrong places and so forth, but that's always the way, you know, that can't, not everybody can be happy about it. That's all there is to it, you know.
So what operation did you do during field day?
Well, unfortunately, this year I couldn't even attend. I have problems here at the home front and myself and my wife and so forth. Anyway, I couldn't get there and do anything, but I did show up on Sunday for a few hours and basically for breakfast. Okay, no, not really. I wanted to mingle and say hello to everybody, and it was a pretty good turnout from what I could tell. You know, I don't have any stats on it, but and I don't even know how many contacts that they made, but that'll come out here soon, I'm sure. That Alan has a lot of information. You know, Mr. K6AGW over there sitting on the table, trying to mind his own business, but he was there. He camped out overnight and so forth, and along with Joel. But anyway, it was they had a good turnout. Anyway, back to you, Carol.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with just showing up for breakfast. I mean, you know, we've always had a good number of people, even in River City field days, that show up for meals. Part of it is the social aspect of getting together and having the meal is a big deal. You know, that's a good thing to do. It's like kind of like a combination picnic, an outing. So yeah, I don't blame people who show up there just for the food, you know, and also the moral support, because not everybody could be talking on the microphones at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you were able to get out at least for that. I did. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit later on when I do my photo album share. Um, I was actually with this group for a total of 3 hours. That's all I was able to do because it was a day trip, and I had to catch a plane back um, to the main island here. But so more than half of the time I spent with them was kind of like social time and preparation for the field day, and also shared in a delicious meal as well. So it's all part of the whole package of field day, and it's reaching out to the public and just doing something. It's a simulation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a simulation activity, which is only just part of it, but the rest of it is just as valid, I think. So it is the one big um,
One,
I
two,
call it
three. Testing, 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 testing.
yes.
Testing confirmed.
Yeah, Field Day is the one big premier operating activity, public outreach event of the entire year. So
You bet.
I'm glad we can keep it alive.
You bet, Carol. Hey, listen, I got a bail. I have a net coming up at CERT. I just did the net control for CERT Elk Grove. Now I have to check in with the Galt CERT, and plus North Hills has got their meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to bail on everybody, but I'm glad I got to see who's sitting at the tables and everything. And nice to see you. And I'll look forward to you coming home. So you take care.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. And hi to Kayla. We actually see Kayla there. Kayla is the mastermind behind the curtain that's putting on the show for us.
Hey, Kayla did a great job at the field day too for North Hills. She did a wonderful job. Okay, I got to go. Talk to you later.
Looks like you're sharing your screen. That's what you're doing. Ah, good. Nice.
That looks like Friday's antenna setup, and we're just putting up the tower with the struts, a couple of them that aren't attached right now. And we wanted to go away with some parts that we actually jury rigged with some instead of using bolts. So I wanted to remind that we need a couple of bolts for the feet of this tower next year to make it work a little better.
All right, that's enough socializing. Let's get back to our seats. Nap time is over. Back to your seats, gentlemen. Hey, you know, Friday is the 4th of July. You guys know that, right? And the club has hamburger buns, hot dog buns, and bread that we need to get rid of. This is extra from field day. So if anybody's planning to barbecue on July 4th or sooner or later, please take extra buns. Sylvia will thank you for that. All right. Let's ask Bob N6PGQ, our field day captain who got drafted into the, oh, make sure to sign the sheet, the check-in sheet. Okay. All right. Bob and Neil, you don't have to stand up. Do you want to stand up? You used to be a teacher for 30 years.
Well, hello there.
There's more people here than there were at field day, almost. But anyway, field day recap. A week ago Friday, we jumped in the truck and drove to beautiful downtown Wilton and picked up the club trailer at Marie Martin's house. She's very graciously been allowing the club to store the trailer at her home. So we made sure the air and the tires were good and hooked the trailer up and drove it to my house. Well, the last time we had field day, somebody decided that they wanted to go home quickly and they threw everything into the trailer, basically first come, first serve, and it was a mess. So we decided that after our club breakfast, we would carpool to my house and inventory and organize the trailer. So we did. And it came out really good. We had enough stuff to fill the back of my pickup to take to the dump. Anyway, that's beside the point. So we cleaned out the back of the trailer, went to Home Depot and bought some tubs, labeled them, organized them, and prepared for field day. So bright and early Friday morning, jumped in the truck, rode out to Rio Linda. And when I got there early, I got this cryptic text message saying there's a problem with your site. So I called the lady that texted me and she said, I am horribly sorry, but we double booked our place and the Girl Scouts are going to be there. Well, I don't know how many of you folks are old members, but pre-COVID a couple of years, they did the same thing. And no, they're not. And this is a different Girl Scout troop. And so the Girl Scout leaders, how do you say it? They weren't magnanimous. They didn't want any men around. They didn't want the girls having to worry about all of us. So it kind of didn't work out real well. But this time, they were only there from Friday afternoon until Saturday morning. And we said, that'll be fine. And the lady was really appreciative because we apparently booked way early and we were the priority. Anyway, we started setting up. We had a good crew. Everything got set up well. And at 11 o'clock, we started field day. 20 meters wasn't good. 15 was good. Anyway, we started making contacts. And it was really a fun day. There were a lot of people that worked that were probably inexperienced in HF communication, and we let them work. And so anybody that wanted to get on the air could. We had a good time. And then what else did we do? Oh, yeah, we had dinner. Sylvia over there prepared us a really, really, really nice barbecued hamburgers. And we had some fruits and things like that. And we're really, really happy. And so we made our contacts, we filled our stomachs, and then nightfall came. And fortunately, this year we didn't have the sprinklers come on, which has happened in the past. And so Sunday morning showed up, and so did more operators. And we kept banging out CW contacts and voice contacts and digital contacts. And by the way, Sunday morning, Sylvia there made us breakfast, and we had cheesy eggs and bacon and regular eggs, toast, all sorts of good stuff. So all of the people that participated had a good time. Next year when we do this again, you guys all need to come. Nobody should sit this out. Anyway, we packed the trailer up,
put the things back in the correct boxes. So the trailer actually looks really presentable. And we drove it back to Marie's house, and she's happily storing it. So here's my chart here. We had a total score of 2,822 points. We received 400 points for emergency power, 100 extra points for a public location, another 100 points for natural power, and 50 bonus points for putting our log on the ARRL web. So let's see, we had 300 CW contacts for a total of 600 points, 95 digital contacts for a total of 190 points. And that was mostly one person's doing, yay. And we had 246 phone contacts for 246 points. Our claim score was our QSO points times the power. We had 100 watts maximum. And so again, our total was 2,822 points. All in all, I think we did very, very well. Any questions? Whoops. Oh, pictures. All right. Okay. Slideshow. I don't think I need to narrate. You guys kind of can tell what's going on. If you need anything, scream. Okay. There's setup. Now I'm narrating. This is constructing. And there's our hex beam being constructed. They're nicely color coded, and you can start on the inside with 6 meters and work your way out and have 20 meters at the outer perimeter of the hex beam. They work real well. We have a triplexer that Phil provided that allowed us to use 3 different radios on 3 different bands with 1 antenna. So simultaneously, yes. '15 worked real well.
Tom,
Sylvia?
Anyway,
what was the problem with the triplexer?
If 10 meters was actually working, it interfered with 15 meters. So the advantage was 10 meters did not have any noise or contacts that we were hearing. So it turned out okay, but you cannot use 10 and 15 together. They overlap and we hear each other quite a bit. So that, but well, given
Did
that
you hear 10 on 15 or 15 on 10?
you heard the transmitting of 10 on 15.
Okay. And what kind of receiver were you using on 15?
It was Ken's Yaesu 710, I believe.
That's very interesting because, you know, the separation, I measured the separation between those two. It's greater than 70 dB. Huh.
So what's going on here in this photo is in order to.
So if you.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, the reason the tower is kind of leaning is that it was easier to put the hex beam mast into the tower. So this was done last year as a quick repair before we got started because we found that we had a coaxial cable problem. And we duplicated it and it made it a lot easier. We don't have tall enough people to stick that mast in, even with the ladder. But by tipping it over was less scary too in putting it in. So I think what's holding, several people are holding it, but the Bill is actually putting the mast into the tower, and then we could quickly flip it up and put the leg back on, and we were good to go.
Yeah, as you can see, the supports, the 3 of the 4 supports are already completely assembled. We put the stabilizer on the 4th leg, disconnected it so you could pull the tower forward, and it works a lot better than trying to lift the thing way up in the air off of a ladder. And so when you got that done, you tilted the tower all the way up and put the support back in and cranked up the mast and have a antenna sticking up in the air. Well, there's our site. We have our sign up. The 20-meter station is at the front, Ken's behind, and then we have our CW and digital station behind that. And that's the 20-meter site. Here's Ken on 15. And this was like 10 meters. You can see the station is labeled there. And here's our mighty CW station. His vertical antenna and the hex beam in the background, solar panels that are providing electricity so that we didn't have generators or commercial power, visitors and operators. There's our, what do you call it? Pacific Division Director came by and said hello.
John Litz, NZ6Q.
And you can tell we're excited. Operating later in the evening, you can see the light on and the pop-up. Really nice go box. You can see the trailer in the background. The trailer empty. So those are some of the snapshots of our field day site. Again, everybody is welcome to participate next year. Any questions? Winter field day is to be determined. It might be interesting.
Yeah, Bill N6HA had a question in chat. Did you have the bandpass filters connected after the triplexer?
No, we did not. We followed what you indicated that the filters were embedded into the triplex, correct?
There's a triplexer, then there are 3 separate bandpass filters. Not the ones that are in the old power supply chassis, but these are really custom bandpass filters that work with the triplexer. Were those not installed? Oh my God.
Well, you could see the 10-meter one on Jim's station. That was in the picture.
It's not the newer one that Phil is talking about, however.
Oh, okay. There are newer ones.
Yeah.
Okay, that may be the reason then for the interference. Okay. But
So
one thing that I want to add to what Bob said, he gave you all the good news. I need to let you know that we had a couple of hiccups. We got the computers working okay and synchronized and on the net, and the N3FJP logging working beautifully, and everybody was happy. There was a little bit of trouble trying to get the Windows running under the Mac computers, but that got resolved, and everything is ready. And 10 minutes into the contest or the event, everything stopped. And nobody could communicate with each other. So we went and took a look at the computer, the club computer, which was the main server where the file was. Guess what? Windows was updating.
So
And of course,
when it just started updating.
Started updating automatically, and of course we had changed the settings, so no sleep and no screen, fading. But somehow that worked, and it took, of course, another 5 minutes or so waiting for it to finish, and then we have to relink everything, and it got okay. But we must have lost about 10 minutes, so it was a learning process.
Thanks, Neil, for networking all the computers together. Did anybody do field day from home? Make contacts at home on your own? I got 250 points, a bunch of CW, SSB, yeah. All by myself. I was proud of myself. No, it doesn't count towards the club. There's a rule for field day that I think any points scored need to be within 1,000 feet of the main club site, something like that. Carol, do you know? There's a distance limit?
Yeah, that's true. In the past, though, during the COVID, we were able to pool all the club members together because social distancing. But I don't think they're doing that anymore.
No, you have to be there. Mark. Oh, they were all close together. Yeah. Well, for next year, and we have a member, Stuart, who may give a presentation to the club about mesh networking. So that's a good idea. Okay, good. Thank you. We would announce it. Before we get to Carol, Carol wants to do a presentation about her experience in Puerto Rico. Any questions for Bob or Neil? All right, Carol, go ahead and share your screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. That was an excellent presentation. By the way, you see the picture behind me is a snapshot of a sunset here from my balcony. I'm on the 8th floor of a condo right off the beach here, north shore of Puerto Rico. And that's the ocean. It's just a few hundred yards away from me. You can see on the right side of the picture there, my little buddy stick antenna attached on the balcony rail. And that antenna gets out like gangbusters. Of course, having a clear view to the horizon over the ocean, it does wonders. It acts like an extra amplifier. So let me pull up here. Okay, I'm going to do a share. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, I think I'm being seen now, all right?
We can see it, yeah.
Okay, good. This is a map showing you the island of Puerto Rico. Here is a large rectangular island, and in the red circle is the island that I was invited to operate on the field day. This is called Vieques. The island is a really small rural island. It belongs to the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. The total population there is about 8,000. The island measures just about 20 miles from west to east and like about 4.5 miles from north to south. So we were located right on the center of the north shore, which actually is the main town of that island. It's called Isabel Segunda, which means Isabel II. I guess it was named after one of the queens of Spain. And right on the outskirts of that little town, there's a historic lighthouse. And that's the grounds where that was set, overlooking the ocean. to get over there from the island, well, let me just orient you here. San Juan, which is the capital of Puerto Rico, is this city here on the north coast of Puerto Rico. Where I am right now is just on the, I'm in a suburb of San Juan, just to the east of that. And I drove over towards the eastern tip of the island. This area here at the eastern tip used to be the naval station, Roosevelt Roads Naval Station. It was decommissioned about 15 years ago. I was actually stationed there when I was serving in the Navy back then between 83 and 87. And it was a very large naval base. I was working in a naval hospital. There was a naval air station there too. And that has all been decommissioned and is now a civilian airport. So we took off from that very same airport in this little Piper Cherokee, which is just about a 10-mile flight over the Vieques Sound here to get over to this island. Let me advance it here. This is how I do that. Okay, this is the invitation that we had from the organization. The organization is the Vieques Island Amateur Radio Club. And this was actually the official field day site for the ARRL section of Puerto Rico. So, and this, you can see the picture here of this gray building. It's this is the historic lighthouse building, and the light is just on top of it. It's just like it's not a very tall structure, but it's on a cliff that's overlooking the shore there. So that's the historic lighthouse. And there's this sign here in front of it, which says "We are Vieques." So this, they operate at 2 meters, 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80 meters. I was invited to operate there by the ARRL section manager of Puerto Rico, whose name is Carmen Green. And they very kindly bought me a passage on his airplane. This is the airport that used to be the Naval Air Station airport. It is now a civilian airport. They call it Jose Aponte de la Torre Airport. I drove up there and then got onto one of these little Piper Cherokees. The locals say like you're right, you feels like you're flying, riding on a kite when you're riding one of these things. This is a video. I don't know how this is coming over.
We can see it. It's a tiny bit choppy, but we can see it.
Yeah, I took a little video of what it's like. And this was leaving Puerto Rico. We were, it was only a 10-minute flight, but I thought it would be nice just to see what it looked like. I'm going to turn around inside. You can actually see what it looks like inside in just a moment. There was one other passenger in there. It's a four-passenger seat. There's the pilot. And it was actually a pretty smooth flight.
What was the temperature like there?
The temperature was right around, this was early morning. It was around 7 a.m. So the temperature was like between 75 and 80 degrees. I'm just going to go ahead. Then when we landed, we got out of the airplane and they put this little plastic little step thing to step out. That's all you needed to do. And then this is the air terminal. It's really a quaint little thing. You just walk right off the tarmac into that little door that the security guard is opening. And once you're inside, that's what it is. It looks like this little area, waiting area, is a tiny little belt if you did have any baggage or anything that had to come out on the belt, but we didn't, of course. I just had my little backpack. And then you're met by these signs when you're leaving the airport. This one says, "Smile, you are in Vieques." And another big sign here says, "Welcome to Vieques. It's all an adventure." And so I was very kindly picked up by Carmen Green, the section manager, and her husband. They picked me right up at the airport, and they drove me immediately over to this is the town. It's the Isabel Segunda. And this is we decided to pose in front of the city hall. That's called Casa Alcaldía. This is architecture from the Spanish colonial times. So this town has been there for quite a long time, a good number of years. But it's very picturesque. This was the extent of the sightseeing that we did. And there's another pose that we had. Carmen is section manager. She's only been a ham radio operator for 8 years. And she is the very first female section manager for Puerto Rico section. So she is kind of like a pioneer for them that way. And she's doing very, very well in her position. Here's another little video I took of, we were right on the plaza there, the Central Plaza. Here in the plaza, Central Plaza of Vieques here. There's the church. And there's Carmen.
Hola.
Hi. And her husband.
Hi to everyone.
Hi. Ooh, and these chickens are getting really close here. Yeah, so it's a very rural part of Puerto Rico. This is this is the actual grounds of the lighthouse. There's the lighthouse building, which is the blue building here. And this other building to the left side is where we actually operated from. And you can see a few tents in the foreground here, and there's a canopy there. Those were setups by a couple of GMRS groups. The GMRS in Puerto Rico, there are a number of groups that are MCOM oriented, and they decided to do an off-the-grid exercise at the same time we were doing our ham radio field day. And of course, Puerto Rico was very severely impacted by the passage of Hurricane Maria. And there was an absolute loss of all communications when the cells came down, towers came down. There was no electricity in the entire island for many weeks after that. So the only thing that actually had any kind of communication in some cases were Baofeng handheld radios that people would use. They would have one over at a police station so they can call the police. And they were being used, of course, without licenses because it was a question of life and death. The FCC was aware it was an emergency. So the entire island was taken completely by surprise, unprepared for the size of Hurricane Maria and the impact it had. So they are now definitely getting better prepared, and this is a very important part of the field day exercise for them. Just some pictures of their antennas. This is a mast here with a 2-meter vertical antenna, and there's some inverted V's coming off the side of that. There's another close-up of that mast with the these are guy wires, and there's some ladder line going up. This is a V type of dipole that was used for 20, 15, and 10 meters, and that was on top of the building that we were operating from. This is the HF position that we operated from. NP3VI was operated 2A. And I was sharing the HF position here with this gentleman. His name is Emmanuel Cruz, November Papa 4 Delta. He is the section emergency coordinator for Puerto Rico. So he's learning a little bit of Morse code, but we decided that we were going to take turns. He was going to do the phone operation, and I did the CW operation. So That's what we decided. Here's a little video to see him setting it up.
And this is the other second HF position here for
Yeah, that's WinLink.
okay. Here's my little
Full breaking. You want a full breaking?
I like semi-break-in.
Semi-breaking.
This is a little gift for you.
Okay, that was, of course, a couple hours before the actual start of field day. We were setting up, he was setting up the key for me there. This gentleman over here is Mr. Felix Garcia. He is the Director of Communications for the Puerto Rico State Homeland Security Office. He's not a licensed ham, but he gave an excellent presentation on the voice interoperability emergency communication system that they have now, which is absolutely excellent. The Puerto Rico government has collaborated with their Homeland Security and offered mountaintop locations for GMS repeaters that now cover the entire island. And these are available 24 hours a day for the general public to use. And they're in the process of setting up emergency training, weekly nets for the people to check in and to be able to use these repeaters. So this is going to be a existing way for them to communicate if there is another situation like Hurricane Maria. And it's very well integrated with amateur radio as well, which I really like to see the GMRS and amateur radio work together for emergencies. This is another device that they have. It's the compact rapid deployable internet system where these units can be deployed. And what they do is they take satellite signal and they can provide internet to the general public and some cellular phone capabilities within a close range of these particular units. And they have a number of these they can deploy again in times of emergencies. So after we went to that little conference, we came back. It was about time to have lunch. And we went back to, this is the building again where we had the operation. We operated right down here. You can see the antennas here on top. Here's that V dipole. There's looks like a cubicle quad for 2 meters up here. And this is the sign that says "We are Vieques," and that's overlooking the harbor. And there's myself, Carmen Green, and Emmanuel Cruz, and we posed for this picture sitting there on that sign. It was very pleasant weather. It was not very hot at all. And because you're right by the ocean, you have those trade wind breezes, so you always have some circulation of air. This is one of the GMRS groups. It's the Puerto Rico Community Communications, and they were set up there doing an off-the-grid operation. Here's another GMRS group, which is the Humacao GRMS group, and they were also set up for the off-the-grid exercise. Here's a close-up again of where we were. There's the operating position, and here are our antennas. And this is that's Emmanuel calling CQ.
Secure field day, secure field day. This is November, Papa 3, Victor India.
Beautiful view there of the water.
Secure field day, secure field day. This is November, Papa 3, Victor India.
Carol, for the newer hams and those who are working on getting into HF, can you explain how salt water helps propagation?
Yeah, the salt water acts as a perfect reflector And what it does is the reflection of your antenna into the salt water adds 3 dB of signal strength. It's actually as if you're doubling your power when you're that close to the salt water. It acts like a perfect metal reflective surface. So that's an ideal place to operate from, that's for sure. And yeah, that was Emmanuel calling CQ. You heard him. And he was absolutely astounded. We were taking turns logging and operating. While he was calling CQ and operating phone, I was doing the logging for him. And when I was operating CW, he was doing the logging for me. I would write down what the call sign is, and he would then put it in the computer. That way we could do it faster. He was absolutely astounded that at the rate that I was doing CW contacts, when he just could not match it on voice. The CW gets through because of the tremendous. They get like about a 10 dB advantage, I believe, power wise on CW compared to phone. So we got through pretty well. This was the very first hour. We were on 20 meters, and the conditions were not really very good at that time. So he did the next hour on voice, and then the third hour that I was there, which was between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock our time. That was Atlantic Standard Time. We switched over to 15 meters, and the bands really got better at that time. And I just heard a whole bunch of stations coming over from the West Coast. The first West Coast station I worked was AG6AU, which is the El Dorado County Amateur Radio Club over there in Placerville. And they were just bombing in on CW, and I was really happy to work them. And I worked another handful of Sacramento Valley section stations. I didn't hear Bill in N6NA. I was listening for you fellas, but it just didn't work out. I didn't copy it, but I was really happy to be able to do that. And
Carol,
then I had,
Carol,
yes,
I heard you guys. I tried to reply, and I recognized that call, and I just wasn't getting through. But I did hear you.
okay, yeah, we were in November Papa 3 Victor India, and we do appreciate the attempt anyway. But by that time, it was already getting close to 5 p.m. And I had to get over to the airport because the airplane was scheduled to leave at 6, and they always want us to be there an hour ahead of time. So I had a full, 3 hours or so of operating there, and a wonderful, they served a wonderful chicken and rice lunch there. Was cooked in the kitchen right behind us in there in that area there, that same building. And tremendous hospitality. I can say that the little bit of time that I spent on the island does not do justice to the beauty of it. A full 2/3 of the island is a wildlife preserve. There is just so much beautiful nature there, beautiful beaches, and I would love to go back and visit it just to see a lot more of it without having to spend a few hours on the radio. But I have to say the people there were absolutely wonderful. They were very, very hospitable. I was absolutely thrilled. And there's a selfie I took of myself there with Emmanuel, and I believe that's probably the last picture I have. Almost. Yep, that's it. So thank you very much for letting me share these pictures with you all. And
Thank you, Carol. Yeah.
yeah, you get a
Yeah,
little
it's a
view
nice-
of it.
What a
little
what a great experience. Thanks for sharing that. Questions for Carol? No, and how did you like that CW Morris keyer, that 3D printed keyer? Is that yours or was that theirs?
Oh no, that's the same one that I brought here.
Okay.
And
All right.
I've got it right here, and I just
Okay.
love it
You do?
because it's
Okay.
it weighs practically nothing. And I learned about this from K4SWL, who he's a YouTuber that does parks on the air, and he showed how cute this thing is. It's like I think $39, and
Yeah,
absolutely love it. It worked like a
they make
breeze.
They make nice keys, CW Morse. They're in Texas, I think. They
Yes.
father-son 3D printing
Mhm.
operation. So, so you hear that, Hank? Other people do 3D printing. It's not just you. All right. Thank you, Carol. Any other questions, club business? Anybody have any Christmas dinner ideas before we get to the drawing?
If you can get me the triplexer and those 3 filters, I'll run them through the lab again, see what's going on. And we'll see what the problem is, get it fixed.
Thank you, Phil. I'd like to learn how that works. Well, we want to do, Walter wants to lead Winter Field Day. Is that right?
Say maybe we design a little schematic explaining how they work and laminate it and keep it with them.
What do you think about that? What, with a 3-hole punch and a binder? I think that's a good idea. Wilson likes that. Wilson's a real engineer. He loves that stuff. That's true. We can fix that. All right, Gert, I think it's time for the drawing. Does everybody have their tickets? Everybody have their tickets? All right. This is your last chance to buy more tickets. Anybody want to buy any more tickets? All right. Okay. Who are you going to have do the draw? Art is our new member. Or, well, we have 2 new members, but okay, Art's going to do it. Hey, don't look at your numbers, Art. You're not disqualified just because you're drawing. But try to draw your own number.
Somebody has 156516. Is it in there? No, it's not gonna be, because that's early on. Yours are in the 4s yet. Do you have it? Oh, you show off. Now you gotta make up your mind.
Thank you. I did not have a chance to get to HRO. That's a little VNA. The other thing is an SNA. Is that right? The tiny spectrum analyzer, TSA. Those are the 3 for this evening. Should he take the tiny spectrum analyzer or the VNA? Oh, he has the
Okay.
VNA. All right.
Now he does.
Now he has another tiny essay.
Are you for true? Yeah. It is not a club product.
All right. All right. Do another draw. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Draw another ticket. Microphone.
156565.
1565. What? Miller? Miller.
Okay. It's newbie day.
All right, Miller. All right. Well, this is a handheld HT radio. It's 2 meters only, but it's a really good one. Nice one. This is it's not a Bofang. This is a vector network analyzer, and Phil is going to be teaching a class. Phil's doing his VNA seminar on the 2nd and 3rd Tuesdays of September. It's a two evenings, one Tuesday after the other. That's a VNA. And then are we putting that back in the auction, or are we?
You know what? If he wants it, he
Yeah.
can have it. Because you can replace it.
So what do you want, Miller?
This will be more useful. Because you can actually, you can
Once
You,
you,
yeah, you can test,
you,
well, you can do antennas and that
a
sort of
lot of
thing with it.
testing. This will,
With
this would
these-
really help you,
Yeah,
once you upgrade to general.
yeah. And then this,
And this is a handheld. I know you already have a handheld, don't you? Yeah. You can take that? Good call. All right. The VNA. So Miller got the VNA. Excellent. Congratulations.
you did good.
You did good. All right.
And we'll just.
And then
wait till-
sign up for Phil's seminar in September when we haven't put out the sign ups yet, but sign up for that.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
Okay.
Okay.
We did good.
It's about 11 to 9. Thank you all for, oh, I forgot one thing. Show and tell. Who wants to do show and tell? Thank you.
I read a couple of reviews of this receiver. It's an HF receiver, covers all bands, all modes. It goes from 100 kilohertz to 31 megahertz. It's a sophisticated receiver. It doesn't have like a single radio IC in there. It's all discrete. It was designed by a fellow named Alex in Belarus, which is a country north of Ukraine and west of Russia. Super little thing. I read these reviews and I said, I got to buy that thing. And the price was low. You can buy one now, I think, for $136.
Is it a kit or?
Exchange rate. It's not a kit.
It's not
no.
a kit. Okay.
Then I got the option for the built-in speaker, and that brought it up to the 136, and then there's shipping on top of that. But anyway, it works very well. On this side, you have a BNC for the antenna. You have a USB connector for charging the battery that's internal. And then there's a connector here for headphones. And then on the other side, there's a connector here for IQ outputs. So you can make a special cable and plug it into your computer, and you can run HD SDR, and you can see a panorama and waterfall on your display. I haven't done that yet. I haven't built that cable. And I actually need a low power, I don't know, I've forgotten. There's an IC you do need in that cable, so I haven't done that.
What's the power level? The max power level?
This is a receiver.
Oh, it's just a receiver.
It's just a receiver. Somebody asked me, is it a transceiver? I said, yeah, I think so. But I haven't made the cable to transmit, so it's just a receiver. So anyway, there's 4 buttons to control everything. There's a microprocessor in there and software. The software is really well designed. There's one knob here. You could push it in and rotate it. You can get to whatever frequency you want and what mode button and so forth. It really works well. I had it out there at Dry Creek Ranch, and I could hear people in Florida and Missouri and Manitoba and all over the West. So from one side of the country to the other. And it comes with this little whip antenna. So I use the whip antenna when I'm walking around out there at Dry Creek. And then home, I plug it into my normal antenna. So works quite well. What else can I say about it? I don't know. I think I pretty much covered everything. Oh, it's got 36 memories inside. Those are easy to use. I have like 3 frequencies in there, like the noontime net and 7181, and then when I do some experimenting, I have an 80 meter frequency in there too. So anyway, like I said, a lot of radio for a small amount of money. Huh? It's called the Belka, Belka. The company is Belrig, Belrig dot something. You'll find it if you put in Belka, Belrig, Belka. Yeah, it'll pop up, and you can read about it. So now I'll tell you one other thing. I got this a couple of years ago. I read this review, and I said, well, I'm going to buy that thing. So and the review said, order it directly from Alex at his website. So I did that, and it was time to pay. And I wanted to use PayPal like I always do. I couldn't do PayPal. So I had to put in my credit card information. I did that and ordered it. And it came in like 2 weeks or something from Belarus, which was impressive. But after I ordered it, I got suspicious and I checked out and I learned that I was actually using the only commercial bank in Russia. So they had my credit card information. I ended up getting another Visa card. And so I didn't have any problem, except that somebody over there got my email address off of a database. And so after about 1.5 years, I got an email and it was suspicious. And I go, oh, they must have done it because of this sucker. They got my email address because there was a connection in the email anyway. But I never had any problems from it. But anyway, neat little radio.
Bob,
you
could
can-
you hold it to the camera for
Oh.
the
Oh,
folks?
here? Okay.
Yeah, come closer. You can see
Okay.
this one. Keep going
Closer?
to here. Keep going.
See
Keep
it?
going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I guess that's it. Any questions? I think I covered it.
Yeah, I do have a question. So what modes does it receive?
All the normal ones, CW. I don't know if it does FT8. I don't remember. Does AM, single sideband. Yeah.
Okay, and FM, narrowband FM, and
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't play with that. So I do single sideband and CW with it.
that's awesome. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Thanks, Bob, for sharing that. Any other questions?
One other thing, it has, it does digital signal processing inside. So it's a very sophisticated
That's
circuit.
impressive. Do you think it's still for sale? Are you
Yeah, I just looked on the website today. Yeah.
okay? What, Mark? It's there. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, good. So remember, for next month, bring something to share if you want. Thanks, Bob, for reminding me about that. Any other comments, questions, or ideas before we close the July meeting? Again, hamburger and hot dog buns, potato chips, Oreos. Some of them are gluten-free Oreos, right? This is all food that we need to share because we can't save it for a year till the next field day. So, all right, everybody, I think that's it. You guys, thanks folks on Zoom that way. Carol, thanks for staying up late and sharing that. That was great. Thank you.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you. What you can do here.
Okay, you can stop the recording now if you'd like. Thank you.
Oh, did you get the